Hi, welcome to our PrepMod training. Today we are going to create a clinic and edit a clinic. We'll go into manage clinics and users, and we will look for the clinic that we need to edit by using the search field. And sometimes I like to double check that my clinic's not already been made by some other user if there's a lot of us. So you could type in Prince William, and that will bring up, you can search by all upcoming, past, or closed. So I'll search on all upcoming Prince William clinics, and there's one on the 10th, one on the 15th, but there isn't one on the 14th. I need to create a clinic for the 14th, and so we'll use the blue Create Clinic button. All right, so the clinic type is going to be COVID-19. Currently, you're going to be doing private clinics only, not public. And we are going to leave the default as no for collecting insurance information. Under services provider, please select COVID-19 vaccination as well as vaccination. There's two different areas of the system behind the scenes that pull on those two fields. So the open to is a field that is used in the public facing Find a Clinic webpage, which is not available yet. However, if you would like to make a selection, you can. If it doesn't fit what you're doing, don't worry. This doesn't currently screen anybody out or in. So it's simply an informational field. So I can go ahead and select seniors if that's consistent with my clinic. At this point, you need to select your county and jurisdiction, but it should default for you. But I'm going to be working with Prince William today. Also going to be working with the Prince William Health District in Manhattan. And if you listen to a previous recording, you'll see that I have a community center first dose clinic now available as a venue. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that. Setting is not required. We have asked PrepMod to have that default to health departments for us, but certainly you can select whatever is most appropriate from the list, but primarily we think it will be health department. Now we're going to set up the clinic date, time, and location. The location actually copies over from the venue, so you'll notice this is the same address that I used when I created the community center first dose clinic. The clinic date, we're going to make this for Sunday, and we're going to do it after church. So let's go, we'll make it start at 1 p.m. and yeah, we'll end around 5. Now, before I show you add another date, I want to turn your attention to the appointment information. In gray is a total appointments field. We don't have any ability to put anything in that field. It's going to auto calculate based on how many hours the clinic is and how long it takes us to process a patient, which is the length of encounter or the throughput time, and then how many people are vaccinating. So we're going to do one patient every 15 minutes because this is an older group that we're catching at this particular church. We're going to select, we're only going to have 4 vaccinators. So 4 vaccinators that are doing 4 patients an hour is 16 total patients per hour times 4 hours in the clinic, which is 64 appointments. That will auto calculate. Okay. So let's say it's a bigger clinic and we're going to have 10 and we're going to add another date. And this date is going to be Tuesday. And we're going to also do another 1 to 5 p.m. You'll notice now the little red buckets have appeared. So if I decide I don't want one of these, I can delete it. But you'll also notice that you don't see the total appointments anymore. And that's because you are basically creating two clinics at one time. The first clinic is going to be at the community center. It's a first dose clinic and it's on February 14th from 1 to 5. And the second clinic is also at the community center. It's a first dose clinic and it will be on the 16th from 1 to 5. And so ultimately, when you're in the clinic listing lineup on that particular screen and you're seeing all the various clinics available, upcoming or all, you'll see two different lines because right now we're creating two different clinics basically with the same attributes. Okay, social distancing capacity is used if you're using the virtual queue and you have another opportunity to edit this. Let me back up a minute. Let's make all of our appointments required, please. For now, no walk-ins. I would take care with using the wait list. Initially, maybe you would like to not use it and then kind of work your way into using it so you can see how fast your clinics are filling up before you begin allowing people on the wait list. So again, the social distancing capacity doesn't interfere in any use of the system. It's simply how many people can physically be in that space at one time. And you can set that and you can change it at the point in which you begin using the virtual queue, you can edit it at that time. I'm not going to put in a registration deadline, but I am going to allow registrations on the same day. Or I could put in a registration deadline. And then you can decide, generally you're going to want to allow registrations on the same day. So if you can, because you might need to register people at the end of the day, perhaps, let's say you're trying to use up vaccine. So you do want to allow registrations on the same day most of the time. But as you get used to the system, you'll determine the settings that are appropriate for your clinic. All right. Contact information is helpful for us. If there's something going on with that particular clinic, we'll know who to contact. If there's something we need to communicate to you all in a sort of urgent way. Additional clinic details are not necessary to add while we're doing private clinics. The additional clinic details are displayed on the public facing portal only. Registration and staff, you might want to put in as a lead staff here. And it's just simply typing in the person's name. It doesn't mean they have to have access to the system. It just is whoever's in charge of the clinic today. Now, clinic staff, this is important, and this is where you'll add the vaccinator's name. So Jen Skid be a vaccinator today. And we will add Amanda in. And while she's not an EMT, well, we're going to make her an RN today because my drop down list isn't working so great. And we're going to add one other person, Patrick from Days Gone By. And he will be an EMT. And you want to continue to add your all of the vaccinators that are working on this date in this clinic. So I'm going to delete my February 16th one and just create the 14th. Okay. And this particular clinic, we're only going to have Moderna available. But if you're going to offer both, you want to select both of the, and when we get to 3 or more, then you want to put in the vaccinations that you will have available at that clinic. Otherwise, the vaccinators won't be able to select them from the list and apply them to a person who's getting vaccinated. So that's just identifying what vaccines are available that day. Now, we're not going to add inventory at this time because inventory is a 2-step process. So we're going to go down and we're going to hit submit. So when you see clinic inventory, let that be a trigger that you can stop now because you don't need to add inventory at this point in time. You might be creating your clinics now for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks from now, or you might be creating them now for a month or 2 or 3 months out. So let's go ahead and see where my Prince William clinic is. The Community Center First Dose Clinic is right here. So that's view, edit clinic in the first step of creating a clinic. And let's just say we need to change the time on this, or we want to send the private URL out to a group of people to register. you come back, you find your clinic, you come into View Edit Clinic. And in View Edit Clinic, you can, before you send out the registration link, you can change some fields, but you want to make sure you do that before anybody is registering for your clinic. And then if you want to send the registration URL out to folks, you come in here and you find the URL, and you'll see if you click on it, I guess you could copy there, but I find that I have better success using the copy button. So I copy that, and then you can bring that into an email and send that out to the group of people that you'd like to use it. And more on the private URL function will be contained in another recording. So we're going to come in and we are going to extend the time. They asked us to stay till 6. So we'll come in here and we'll extend the time until 6. And that gives us some additional appointments. And we'll scroll down and we'll update. Okay. The other thing you might do if you have the privileges and are given the assignment, you might be ready to assign a lot number in inventory to a clinic. And this information is contained in another recording, but just to look at it real quick, we will type in the vaccine lot number. We will look for that vaccine lot number and we will add that item. There's 150 of the inventory available because I used 650 of it somewhere else. So I can only choose 150 or less number of items, and then I can View Edit Clinic. Thanks for joining us today. If you have questions, please come to office hours.